Hello, everyone. So, how do we make money with Tesla? I want to make money trading Tesla stock. That's great. But what you need to do, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand what it is that you're trading. You need to understand what is going on. You need to understand what it is that the risk is about. So, what do we do? How do we know? What do we find? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to get onto the latest information about the company. So, how do you get to the latest information on the company? Very simply, let's get to the annual report. Let's go through the annual report and understand what it is this company does, because you cannot invest in a stock if you don't understand what the stock does. I mean, you need to understand the company. You need to understand the future, the prospect, especially when something is going to happen. You're going to say, wow, I mean, I don't know what's going on and the stock is going down. At least you have some sort of so let's take a look at it. So, first of all, one thing that they tell us is that it's not true. Tesla is no longer focused on expanding its vehicle lineup. That is not true. Tesla is abandoning supercharging. That is not true. Elon is threatening to move AI out of Tesla. That is not true. Tesla is a one-man show. I mean, all these things are important. Why? Because it tells you that the company is trying to explain to you more what it's about. You need to understand and keep in mind that stocks are not just about financials and stock movements. It's about the story as well. You need to understand the story. If you understand the story, then maybe you got a chance. So the story, what is the story based on this page? Well, first of all, Elon is still very much active. There's a lot of people that makes this company, i.e., if Elon should happen not to be there tomorrow, it's not a one-man show, right? He doesn't do everything. He doesn't build every single car. He comes up with some great ideas. He puts it together, but doesn't mean it is the end all and be all. Elon is threatening to move AI out of Tesla. No. It also means that AI is a big part of Tesla. We need to understand it, because Tesla might not just be an automotive company. That is important to understand. Now, they're telling us that the impact is accelerating, right? So obviously, Tesla's mission is to accelerate growth in the world's transition to sustainable energy. That's a big mission. That is not to be underestimated. Now, they're setting a new standard of sustainable manufacturing. What is this? What do you care about this? Well, it's important for you to know that. First of all, it's not an old-fashioned kind of plant. It's 35% less energy, 100% electricity user match with renewables. I mean, the company is really, really down to the way they build these things is very accommodating, right? It's important to understand that. It's also important to understand that the batteries, when we started with the car, we say, whoa, wait a second, the battery's going to die, and then you're going to be driving a car without a battery. It's not going to work. No, it would appear that 85%, the company is going to retain 85% of its capacity. The battery is going to retain 85% of its capacity over 200,000 miles of driving. I mean, let it drive for 200,000 miles and let's see what happens. But basically, it's telling you that that battery is going to last. It's a misconception to believe that it's not. So therefore, and forget 85%. So basically, these things are maybe like 300-mile range. So it's saying that I'm going to be able to sustain 80% of that. So you're still going to get 240, 250 miles out of the car, which is not too bad. Now, and this is over 200,000 miles, and eventually it slows down little by little, but it kinds of being safe. Build the safest possible operation. This is something that they had an issue with, and I think they fixed. And I think important also is the fact that they're making EV affordable. Why do you care? Well, it's important because more people could afford it. More people could afford it, more people could buy it. And you could see it here that when you compare to the BMW, which is overpriced compared to the Y, it's cheaper. It's more affordable. And frankly, if you drive a Model Y, I mean, it's fantastic. You just have a car with a screen, right? Basically a big iPad. And that's all there is. And you got much more room, more comfortable. You don't have to, there's like 3 times less parts than a regular car. So keep in mind that when you go to you go to the dealer, if you ever go to the dealer, unless you want to change the tire and change a few things, that's about it. And the most challenging part is going to be for you is to find a charging station, quite frankly. So the EV is affordable, and that is a big point. We produce the most EV globally. What does that mean, and why is this important for you? It is important for you because when you buy Tesla, you're buying the number one guy. You're buying the top of the line. You're buying quality, and you're buying the future, but you're buying something that's not going to disappear tomorrow. That's very important for you to know. So most EV globally in 2023, 6 million vehicle all time. We broke our yearly production record at Fremont, so obviously they're trying to pinpoint the fact that they're doing great. Well, keep in mind though, numbers are kind of slowing down to the top, but they're still doing great. Of course, the Cybertruck, it's a horrible looking thing, but it's an interesting looking thing. But more importantly about the Cybertruck is the fact that, he was able to produce something like that. And that's amazing. It's amazing because it's very different. And whenever something is different, sometimes something works, sometimes it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But in this case, the Cybertruck is doing pretty well. Look at this thing. I've saw it in New York. It's the weirdest looking thing. And you, if you want to turn heads, you're definitely going to turn head with that truck. It's got the huge tires and it's got the huge wiper blades. It's amazing that he's able to build something like that. More power to him. Now, we launched the upgraded Model 3. Why do you care? Well, you care because keep in mind that these models have been around for 5 years. And it's time to upgrade them. But the beauty of it is you don't need to upgrade them every year. Why? Because the way the car is designed, it's minimalistic. Now, if you have 30,000 parts versus 10,000 parts in a car, you get all those gauges in a regular car and the knobs and all that. Frankly, when you go into a Tesla, you just have the car, the wheel, the seat, and the driver, and then the iPad, and that's about it. And what else are you going to do, right? What else are you going to do? You're going to try to make it your own. But frankly, there's not much to do. Maybe you could change the outside a bit or whatever. What's really going on, you don't see the upgrade because the upgrades are all happening through the screen, and all of the upgrades are happening in terms of adding cameras, adding more sensitive brakes, your power sharing, things like now when you turn your left signal. In the past you didn't see anything. Now whenever your left signal happens, you don't even need to turn your head because a camera in the back comes on and tells you what's directly on the left of you. So it makes it a very, very safe car. So these are things that are upgraded without waiting to the next model. In the past, when you had a regular car, you had to wait like a year, to have the departing lane thing and the little knobs were different, so that the company could actually show you, how different the company is, how different the new car is versus the previous one. But with the Tesla, that doesn't really happen because it gets updated all the time. Maybe they'll make some changes on the outside. And because people say, well, I want to drive the same car that somebody bought 5 years ago, fine, we'll make it a little sharper, a little bit hedgier. But at the end of the day, it's really the thing. And that's why this car is very different. This type of car is very different than the standard ones. What I want to say also is the fact that, they're going to come up with some few more things are happening here that they don't want to show you. The supercharger network is growing. As you could see, huge US presence, huge European presence, getting more to the right. You need a supercharger. You need a supercharger because one of the biggest drawbacks of the car, obviously, if you're going to drive long periods of time and you're in a hurry, well, you use your 300 miles and boom, you got to wait 30 minutes to get another 300 miles. So imagine you need to drive 3,000 miles, and it's like 30 minutes times 10. So you're talking about 5 hours of charging time. Of course, you could say, well, I'm not in a hurry. Great. But if you are in a hurry, that is and on top of that, you need to make sure you've got a supercharger next to you, because if you don't, then we're talking, instead of saying 275 miles an hour, we're talking 30 miles an hour. So now it takes a really long time to charge the car, and that's an issue. So you need the supercharger all over, with something that is unique out of Tesla. And of course, charging access for all, innovating battery manufacturing, which is very important. And I think what you should realize is, obviously they're making more money, as you could see, 2022 versus 23. Can't say that no to that. They're making more and more money. Of course, the stock went up a lot, but we'll talk about the stock in a few minutes. And of course, this is where it becomes interesting. Now, keep in mind that Tesla's P/E ratio is 63. 63. Well, the P/E ratio of GM is 6. Why is it somebody that's willing to spend $63 more per dollars of earning on a Tesla than on GM? Well, because Tesla is now really a car company. And they're telling you, we're more than a car company. We are a vehicle. We do battery cells. We do insurance. We do energy storage. We do refining. We do solar. We do lots and lots of things. They're also a leader in AI, and this is where it makes them interesting. This is where it makes a company more than just a car company. And you need to realize that AI is going to be everywhere. In fact, you see that little guy in the middle? You see that little robot? That's going to be the next thing. They are going to get into that. So you've got the car company, you got the AI, and then you got the robot. So that's what you're buying. Now, of course, I mean, you're not the first one to discover, because the P is at 63. That's a lot. And coming soon, they've got lots of interesting stuff coming in. Here's a robot I was telling you about. That I find is interesting. What is it going to do with this? We'll find out. Okay? So the next thing I want to show you, obviously, is the financials. So what's going on with Tesla and the stock price? Now, that's a question, right? Because in the past year to date, the stock is up, down, is kind of flat. 6 months is up 18%. 1 year is down 13%. Meaning that you could see it's done its thing, and it's recovering now. So there's potential. The thing that you need to realize that with the P of 64, it's already very, very richly valued, and the beta is at 2.3, which makes it very, very volatile, and that is something you might need to worry about, because 2.3 beta means that if the market goes up by 1, they go up by 2.5, and if it goes down by 1, it goes down by 2.5. That is something to worry about. That is an issue. That is what you need to make sure that doesn't happen to you when the stock goes down. But anyway, so what else is happening? Well, what's going on is, if you look at the financials of this company, and I take a look at the financials right over here, I realize that, well, they've been doing great, 31, 51, 81, but now they're kind of flat. If you look at the EBITDA, and the EBITDA is kind of flat, and that's what's happening with the stock. So the market is saying, yeah, okay, well, show me the growth. How much faster can you grow? How many more car can you go sell, right? I mean, in the beginning it was okay when they was the only game in town, but now they're not. So I'm always concerned that this is kind of a play on, whenever you see a weakness, maybe you could buy. I would say this is a play on options, because it's very volatile stock. So if you put a straddle on an option, you could make money when it goes up and when it goes down, but it's got to go up and down. Otherwise, you don't make any money. Which in this stock it does, because it's quite volatile. I mean, it's up 60%, past 3 months. Although it's down in the past year, right? So it's very volatile. But the company is doing well. I mean, it's still doing well. I mean, are you going to see more growth? I don't know. Maybe with the AI business, something might happen. Something might happen with that. That's always a possibility. But if it doesn't, then my recommendation is you want to get in on it when you actually have some weakness in the stock. I know that the Nasdaq is suffering recently, and that could be a good opportunity, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful because it's overpriced. It's not like Nvidia, which is grossly overpriced, but has good potential because they are all over the place, and this AI thing could be anywhere. This is still is a car company, right? And they're adding the AI and everything else, but because if we take a look at their 10K, let's take a look at their 10K to see how much of the money comes from the non-AI, from the non-car business. Let me see. Let's take a look at the SEC filing. Let's take a look at the latest 10K for 24, apply filter. Take a look at the 10K. The recent 10K, December 23. Now, if you look at the 10K, you will see that how much of it are they actually making? Vehicle safety, manufacturing. I mean, they're into lots of things. Yeah, but I want to know. I want to see the money. I want to see the bottom line here. Where is the money? Where is the beef? And if we take a look, this is everything having to do with the company. These are the questions. Safety. Wow, look at that. Cumulative total returns, fantastic. These are the plans that they have. Let's take a look at their automotive operation. See, I mean, so 78 billion, 96 billion. So sales is still a big chunk. I mean, the leasing, you have energy generation, storage revenue. I mean, yeah, I know the AI, I know everything else. So, but it's still, which is good because it's not a big part of what they're doing, right? Out of 96, 78 is automotive. This is still automotive. They're growing the rest of the stuff. How do I know? Well, look, energy generation storage segment. Look, it went from look at the growth right here, 54%. Cars 17%. This thing is 54%. So that's good. That's growing fast. And maybe with the AI thing and the rest of the robots, maybe it gets even better. Okay, so lots of things to say about this company. Lots of interesting stuff. I suggest you take a look at it. My view on this is I would make sure that, whenever there's weakness in the stock, now is the time to go. I wouldn't chase it too much. Because why? Because it's really richly priced. The automotive stuff is growing, but it's this is it. It's not like that. Now, of course, I would say in terms of options, sure, it's volatile, so you could benefit. Right? You buy your call, it goes up, you exercise, you're done. Then you wait a little bit, it goes down, and then the put gets tagged, you make money. That's the way to go. Don't forget, subscribe and like what you hear. Okay? Great.